So in this video, I want to show you guys 3 tips and 3 tricks that really help me enhance my workflow, make me make beats faster in Ableton, be more productive whenever I have things to do here in the studio. And I think it's going to help you out, so let's just jump straight to it. So the first thing I want to teach you guys is some of the best keyboard shortcuts inside of Ableton that's going to save you some precious time. It took me a long time to get into it. I didn't think it was going to increase my workflow that much, but finally I printed out a sheet with all of the Ableton shortcuts and just started implementing them, and it's true that it's just a lifesaver. So let me run through a few real quick. So the first thing that I've learned that really helped me increase my workflow is the research function inside of Ableton. Instead of going and finding in whatever effects or instruments that you want, you just type it in and it'll pop up, hit enter, and it appears. So the easy way to do it is just Command F. You're gonna go into the Finder section and then just research, for example, EQ8. Don't even have to type everything. Arrow down, EQ8, enter, pops into my system, good to go. Saves so much time just doing that. You need to find something else, Apple F, glue compressor, for example, boom, boom, double enter, it's there, ready to go. If you're zoomed in, you're making some very detailed edits and you want to be able to zoom out real quick to see the full length of your production, all you have to do is hit W, and you'll get the whole length. And if you want to see every single one of your channels, all you have to do is hit H. And that's gonna compress everything down, make everything smaller so every single channel fits in your arrangement view and in your screen window. This is very easy and very quick whenever I do some massive edits and I'm all over the place and I want just to zoom out real quick. Hit W, hit H, boom. Again, if you're making some quick edits and you just want to delete a section or cut a section, all you have to do is select the part that you want, hit Command E, and you're gonna make a nice cut and you can separate whatever you need. Now you can also do that with an entire section that selects the section right here. Apple E is gonna select that section and then you can move this one around freely however you want to. So if you wanna reverse something real quick, instead of going into your section here, all you have to do is select the section that you want to reverse, hit R, and it's gonna reverse that automatically. Lifesaver. Duplicating tracks, all you need to do is select the section that you want and hit that Command D and it's going to duplicate as many times as you want. You can also do that with audio channels and MIDI channels. If you want to duplicate this piano channel, for example, Apple D, and it's going to duplicate it with all of the effects and everything that we have in it. Super quick, super easy. It works very well when I'm recording vocals and I want to quickly double some background channels without adding in all the effects again or copying and pasting. All I do is Command D to duplicate that and I'm good to go. So here, as you can see, this channel right here is kind of complicated. I've made some chops, I've made some reverbs, I've pitched down some things, and I want it to be just in one audio file. The only thing I need to do is select the section that I want, hit Apple J, and it's gonna consolidate it into one audio channel and I'm good to go. I'm not confused anymore, everything looks clean and everything looks really good. Now another quick one too, if you're doing a lot of automation and you don't want to always have to right click show automation, an easy keyboard shortcut to toggle between your automation view and your regular view is just the A button. So just hit A and you're gonna go in from automation to regular, automation again, and that's just a quick way to go between those two. Those shortcuts are my favorite. I use them every day and I use them a lot, so I think they're gonna help you out. Another step that I like to do to increase my workflow is adding myself a timer. So I have the Amazon Alexa right here next to my studio, and I always tell him, hey, add me a 15-minute timer. That gives me 15 minutes to work on the bass, work on the snare, work on something very specific. And when that timer goes off, I just move on to something else, because we all get stuck forever tweaking a snare, tweaking a sound, staying on the EQ, and then your ears get tired and you don't hear the differences, and usually you wind up doing more harm than good. So I always set a timer whenever I'm working on something specific so that I know how much time have passed and I don't spend hours in the studio doing the same thing. So set a timer. I learned that trick from Il Gates. I'm gonna put a link in the description to his video on his workflow tips. That might help you guys as well. And yeah, that helped me a lot. The final tip is sound design. Sound design is very hard to do. It takes a lot of time, but there's some very easy steps and very easy tricks that you can do in Ableton to have some really cool sounds and something unique using the stock plugins in Ableton or just basic loops that you might have heard 1,000 times. So the first thing that I like to do, usually when it comes in with sound design, is repitching whatever it is. So here I have 2 loops from my sample packs. If you guys know about my Patreon, you know that I release a new sample pack every month for all my Patreons out there. And yeah, so these are 2 of the latest ones that I have. So we have a drum and a basic piano loop. So if you're using anything different, the first thing that I like to do is when it comes in, I like to transpose it right away. So if I go to Complex Pro, and then I transpose it down maybe like 3 or 4 steps. And then play around with the different options that you have for the warping section in Ableton. You have Complex Pro, you have repitch, texture, tones, beats, complex, and you can just have some really cool sounds. So here with Complex Pro, for example, you play around with the formats. I like to play with the texture as well. So what I have here is I have a basic analog track with just an arpeggiator in front, just to give me a simple, nothing crazy, doesn't sound too good, it's just very basic, very straightforward. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is create a resampling track, Apple T to create a new audio track, drop down the menu, no input, we're gonna select resampling. And this is gonna allow you to re-record whatever is coming out of your master channel. So a very easy way to do it, we're just gonna hit record, solo on an analog track, and just record what we just did. Now we have our MIDI track in audio. I can delete that, I don't need it anymore. And now I'm gonna play around with what we just created. So first off, I'm gonna go and warp, play with some of the warp settings. Maybe pitch down the track 4 or 3 steps and play with the texture knob, raise that up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to pitch it down maybe a full octave, raise the volume up a little bit. Have this, I'm going to reverse maybe some sections of it. Maybe I like only this section, so Apple E to cut this one out. We're going to start with this. Apple D to duplicate it all over. And this one we're going to pitch it down maybe another 3. 1, 2, 3. Super easy. Hit that Alt button to maintain it and it's going to duplicate it all the way. Then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to add maybe an extra auto filter or some kinds of effect. Boom. Lower the pitch, raise a little bit this. Let's say, I don't know, 4. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to resample this section. So I have my resampling track already done, but in an easy way, I'm just going to duplicate it one more time. Hit solo on that resampling track. Record, and we're going to record what we just created. Boom, perfect. And you can do this indefinitely and just have a really crazy sound. So we're going to raise the volume up on this guy a little bit more, bring it back to the high octave I was. And actually, let's reverse the whole thing. So hit R. And there we have a whole new different sound, and it took us like 2 seconds to make. So once we have this, just make a bunch of loops, a bunch of different ideas, and just save them in a folder so that you can reuse them whenever it comes time to start composing. And those are the 3 things that I had to say. So not that much, nothing crazy. Just remember to be creative and don't be scared to resample audio and change it around and flip it and resample it again. Don't be scared and don't be afraid to lose what you've done before. Commitment is a very important part when it comes to making music, because otherwise we just get in our own head. We change things over and over again. We go back to that reverb, flip it around, we go back to those MIDI notes. We're always afraid to lose things that are important. So resampling things and converting into audio I'm a huge fan of that. So yeah, you can go on my Patreon, you can download the free sample packs that I have every month. Comes out with some new melody loops, royalty free for you guys to use. And yeah, have a great weekend, have a great 4th of July, and see you guys in the next video. Peace. Alright. So in this video, I want to show you guys 3 example or whatever effects that you need. Shit. The second is hit W. It's gonna shorten, is create a resampling track in order to, shit, I gotta do this all over again. Fuck, alright, let's take all this out. Boom, boom.